You're welcome back. My case, this subsidy matter self. Subsidy has become a byword for governmental inability to efficiently run the oil and gas industry for more than 4 decades. Even when Nigeria had 4 functioning refineries, we still had to contend with subsidy. Whenever the fellows in government wanted to pay for some dough, they told us that they had to raise the prices of petroleum products. It soon graduated to the grounding of the 4 refineries and on to massive importation of petroleum products. Now, the chickens have come home to roost. Recently, Africa's richest man, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, announced that the petrol produced by his refinery will be delivered wholly to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. He also said President Bola Tinubu and the Federal Executive Council will determine the price. No wahala, you might say. But as I just gathered, the unspoken proposition in these pronouncements, as polluted by a school of thought, was that since government had been paying subsidy on imported petroleum products, and with NNPC as the sole importer and off-taker, why not shift that subsidy to locally refined ones and fix the prices? Perhaps that will explain why NNPCL hiked the price of petrol on the same day that Dangote rolled out his own PMS. Now here, I don't know my verdict. Firstly, NNPC should be sold immediately. This subsidy regime must end. The opaqueness in the downstream sector of the oil industry must be dismantled. Enough of all the lies about subsidy. It's been alleged that Nigeria doesn't consume as much as 50 million liters daily. That's what they have said. He will expose the true figure. The sector should be an open market into which refiners can throw their products at competitive prices. Nobody should be allowed a monopoly or unfair advantage. And that's my case.
That's what they say. He will expose who? Expose who? When his refinery was about to start, they showed him shaky. He's now telling us he wants to go and expose it.
Yes, showing them shaky.
You know that. Again, I am bewildered at the secrecy that will shroud a company like the NNPC PLC. Because, I mean, when you say it is public, a public liability company, then your books should be open. They say it's because their books are being opened that we're seeing that there's some underground subsidy. Because there is no subsidy in the budget. But by the time they sell crude oil,
they say a shortfall.
And they import petrol.
Under recovery.
Under recovery is what they call it. By the time they are now, disbursing to independent marketers because they are now the sole importers, they sell it to them at the price that is less than they have bought it, so that the independent marketers can also sell it at a rate that Nigerians can afford. Now, because that under recovery has not been able to provide for all of the importation, we started owing the foreign suppliers to the tune of $6.8, wait for it, billion. My goodness. So now, the suppliers are no longer giving them petrol on credit, which is why we are having fuel shortage, fuel scarcity, in the market. I'm wondering, for a country that has crude oil, it's
supposed to have crude oil.
We do have. It's
supposed to have crude oil.
The Juror from Rabbi has mentioned before, the only reason we're not drilling oil in this area is because it's not at commercial quantity. Nigeria pretty much sits on top of oil all over, from the Niger Delta to the north. For a country that has the resource, even countries that do not have are building refineries. They will import crude oil from people like us, refine, and the commodity is readily available.
No, see.
So the absurdity.
It's not about having abundance of mineral resources or natural resources. It's that your inability to put them to use will turn you to a slave to countries that can, get it to a finished product. Now, you see what we are dealing with. You can imagine now the persons who are owing, or the companies who are owing, that NNPC is owing, they are now the one dictating
what
the pace.
In our markets.
Now, we have this thing in abundance, but because of our lack of tact and our inability to put them to proper refinement, we now have to rely on these people to determine whether it will get to us or not.
Imagine.
And to put it more shamefully, we are now owing.
Hey, whoa.
You cannot manage what you have. Somebody is getting you to get it across. You are owing the person. Then you are telling the country that you have removed subsidy. Then you came back and say you are paying shortfalls that the federal government used to give money to NNPC. The NNPC have not paid subsidy for the past 9 years. Now, when the federal government give them money, what they do is when they bring it in, they will use the money to make up the difference. And they call it shortfall or under recovery or whatever it is they call it. So at the end of the day, NNPC is not able to manage itself.
Wow.
It's not able to manage the resources, that's the PMS. It's not able to manage information around it. It's not able to account for it. It's not able to do anything.
But that was when NNPC was an agency of government. NNPC is now PLC. Will you hire for your company? Is it limited or PLC?
It's limited.
No, it's supposed to be PLC according to the Petroleum Industry Act.
But it is limited. Will you, as a director of a limited company, hire an incompetent MD?
Well, it depends on your goals. Because it's a director who wants to be avoiding taxes.
Right.
If it's a director who wants to game the system. So, what I'm saying is this. Nigeria produces what is called sweet crude in the Bonny Light, which is well sought after all over the world. Now, instead of going to Malta to build a blending plant, or Russia, or whatever, why not put a blending plant here? Get different grades of crude from around the world
and
blend them here in Nigeria, so that as long as you stay within the permissible limits of content of your server.
Cost of production, sir. Because there's no constant electricity.
No, it's not a problem, because a sector that actually generates electricity on its own, with flare gas, that gas can be converted into electricity. So that sector doesn't even need to talk about
constant power.
Yes.
I agree.
So you blend it. The labor in Nigeria.
They use independent power plants now.
Yes, because of the low, the weakness of the naira, it's even cheaper than even in China, where you have one of the cheapest rates of labor in the world. So what it means is that Nigeria should actually be attracting much more investment in different sectors than it currently is. So, but the problem is that our people take all these things abroad, then they expect that people will leave their own nations and come here. Charity must begin at home. So the issue about this refinery, and all of that, about this subsidy, is just that people want to continue to make money that are not
at the expense of the masses. True. I was asking him sometime earlier today. I said, how many genuine billionaires does Nigeria have? Genuine people who
are you investigating them?
No.
Fantastic.
Whatever you want to call it.
Not the ones that were given or giving a monopoly to sell one product.
Somebody who does not. No, I mean, even those you can manageably trace them. There are people who don't have anything like a company with a staff strength of, let's say, 1,000, 2,000.
Portfolio.
You understand?
Briefcase.
And they're everywhere. Now, on the NNPC, this whole oil issue, frankly speaking, if not for Nigeria,
you are about to drag your president. Go ahead.
If not for Nigeria, make a president to this table. Because
the president is the substantive.
I wonder what sense there is in talking about.
You are dragging your president.
It was Karl Marx that said the world that philosophers had interpreted the world for long. It was time for action. Frankly speaking, what we need to do now is to take action on the NNPC. There's nothing more to do. I like his very saying, sell all these NNPC or trying to do something. There's no
NNPC is busy as we speak. NNPC, they are busy asking investors to come and take over the Kaduna refinery. And
who will come and take it? But except them and their friends. Who will take it?
They have turned it to a moribund museum.
Who will come and
they are looking for someone who have money.
Do you know Guaridi?
Who will come and resuscitate?
Do you know Guaridi? When Guaridi went to the Kaduna refinery and they told him that they needed to privatize, said, we went and said, what? This school, he looked at the network of pipes and everything. He said, privatized this whole kind of, when he didn't know they was looking at the history.
Moribund.
He was looking at something that was past.
No, that is the
How can
problem we're having
something?
in all sectors.
Imagine a president does not know the value of what he was looking at.
He wasn't know the value of what he's looking at, because the people who also gave him mandate to lead them, do they know what they're doing?
But it's true now.
So
It's true.
why we blame our leaders? We also blame ourselves for making costly mistakes every
Very
4
true.
years.
Very, very true.
Only for us to turn around and come and say, food, we don't have
Very
food,
true.
we don't
The
have
Nigerian oil sector, as I speak with you today, smuggling is still very active.
It's always been active.
Very active. That time when Tinubu came and said subsidy is gone.
No subsidy was gone.
Yeah, no.
The Guardian today, their leaked report is subsidy not gone.
Yeah, but where I'm going was that because of the
statement
contraction,
just disrupted it.
yes, it did. And then people like Benin and Co, they weren't get product for some time. When the Naira was not floated from and they couldn't hide it anymore, they had to start paying subsidy back fully. Do you know that in Benin Republic, some fuel depots went on fire? They call them dumps also. Yes, but they caught fire because our product has started moving again, and since that time, the border has been. Go to Jiroko, what you will see, you won't believe it. People are constructing vehicles. You know, of course, I can't mention the vehicle. In the vehicle, they put a tank, expand it, all kinds of
Firewall.
Yes, all kinds of things are going on. Then they take it and go and sell it in Benin and all these places.
And they settle customs. And the other one, immigration. Everybody is settled.
Well, everybody is settled. But they're doing the report that some workers at the border are being owed for some years. Maybe that will be a topic for another day.
that will be a good jail.
And then they did not involve in it. So.
When we return, Julius Baku travels to the Middlemen to know why they watched until the floods came thundering down. Stay with us.
Middleman.